Hello and welcome back to I Create For You. We're doing the haunted presidents. We've already done the first president, George Washington. Our second president is John Adams. And I'll read you this story. It's not as long as yesterday's, the George Washington story was, but we'll trudge through this one and then I'll attempt another sketch of John Adams. Okay, John Adams, he was from 1735 to 1826. Second president, 1797 to 1801 was when he served. The other ones were his birth and death. Okay. The contrast between the ghosts of John Adams and George Washington are as striking as the differences between the living men. The comparison of Washington's phantom on horseback, urging soldiers forward while brandishing a flaming sword, with John Adams' quietly contemplative shade sitting at home says it all. While Washington's spirit has been reported not only at his Mount Vernon estate, but as far as afield as Gettysburg, New York City, and Princeton, Adams's ghost is strictly a homebody, and a very unobtrusive one at that. Adams had the unbelievable task of succeeding Washington as president, our first one-term president. Adams has been widely regarded as an undistinguished, rather boring bureaucrat in contrast to the charismatic Washington. Entire regiments of soldiers claim to have seen Washington's phantom at Gettysburg, while relatively few report spotting Adams's spirit at his home in Quincy near Boston. There, the shade of the second president has been seen both in the parlor of his house and seated on the low stone fence outside. In the parlor manifestation, Adams's spirit appears in the form of advanced old age. He sits in an armchair reading, perhaps reminiscing about his long life of service to his country. His expression has been described as rather sad and lost in thought. His beloved wife, Abigail, predeceased him by nearly 8 years. He was frustrated by the physical disabilities of old age. He lived to the age of 90. Once writing, "I have lived in this old and frail tenement a great many years. It is very much dilapidated, and from all that I can learn, my landlord doesn't intend to repair it." No wonder the parlor apparition is so seemingly morose. With his wife dead and his reputation tarnished by a controversial and unhappy term in the presidency, Adams's glum ghost reflects the man's terrible disappointment at being defeated for re-election in the bitter campaign of 1800. His words were often undiplomatically direct, with more than a little self-righteousness. He was his own worst enemy, and the parlor ghost, said to glare wrathfully at any disturbance, reflects these character traits. Benjamin Franklin observed of John Adams that he means well for his country, and is always an honest man, often a wise one, but sometimes and in some things absolutely out of his senses. As a diplomat, Adams often was undiplomatic. As a politician, he cynically trusted no one. "There is danger from all men," he wrote. "The only maxim of a free government ought to be trust no man living with power to endanger the public liberty." In contrast to the sour parlor ghost, Adams's alternate manifestation, sitting on the stone fence outside his house, seems serenely content. This phantom appears to be looking over what were crop fields and pastures with satisfied contentment. Adams genuinely loved his home, and even though his duties often had him living hundreds, even thousands of miles away, he was intensely interested in scientific agriculture for the good reason that he needed to coax the maximum income from each acre. I'm going to pull my table a little further. When Adams was appointed the first American ambassador to Britain, he was not looking forward to formally presenting his credentials to the king. Protocol required a personal visit to King George III, with a polite chat head-to-head. As a revolutionary, Adams had made highly unflattering statements about the king. Now he had to make nice for an hour. Adams opened with a compliment about English successes in breeding superior sheep, hogs, and cattle. It turned out the king's hobby was scientific agriculture. They both were relieved to find a common interest. So it is not surprising that Adams's spirit seems most at ease looking over his farm and wearing an old farmer's straw hat. Working his farm always had brought him peace to the man and now to his spirit. It is interesting that the ghost of Abigail Adams has captured the public's imagination more than that of her husband. Independent-minded and assertive, Abigail was a very different First Lady than Martha Washington. Martha once told a friend that her husband impressed her with his views so thoroughly that she could not distinguish her own. Abigail was the daughter of a clergyman and had a strong sense of morality. She never hesitated to give advice to her husband or anyone else for that matter. In contrast to Martha Washington, Abigail's strongly expressed views earned her the unofficial title of Mrs. President, not necessarily meant as a compliment. Harry Truman once said that he thought Abigail would have made a better president than John. When John was elected president, Abigail said that she would try to emulate Martha Washington in avoiding public expressions on controversial subjects, but admitted that she'd rather be bound and gagged and shot like a turkey. Abigail considered slavery to be a great evil and said so often. Once when a freed black youth begged her to teach him how to read and write, the First Lady had to decline because of her many official engagements. But she did enroll him in evening school, ignoring criticism from her friends for doing so. It would have amused Abigail that her most widely reported appearances as a ghost are in the form of a dutiful housewife. She is said to be the oldest ghost in the White House and is seen wearing a lace cap and carrying a basket of laundry into the East Room. After moving into the still unfinished White House in 1800, the first family complained that the inadequately heated stone-walled house was damp and cold. Abigail is said to have found the East Room as the only one warm enough to dry her wash in. Abigail's phantom repeats this duty, ignoring any living bystanders. A less widely known appearance of Abigail's spirit is near the Adams homestead in Quincy, Massachusetts. A pile of loose stones in a beehive shape was erected in Abigail's memory atop Penn's Hill, from which vantage point Abigail had once observed the Battle of Bunker Hill. There, at her cairn, Abigail's disembodied spirit watches anxiously as American soldiers win a key early battle. This manifestation would seem to be more characteristic of this very intelligent and public-spirited First Lady than the simple domesticity of laundry hanger image. Man, domesticity. Oh my God, I can't even say that word. I guess it's being domesticated, in other words. Holy moly, right there at the end, it caught me. Alrighty, let's try to do John Adams, since he was our second president, and the second story. Oh, geez Louise, I don't even have my pencil ready. Can you imagine that? I can't. Okay, got my eraser. And we're going to get that pencil that is trying to... Okay, here we go. I got it. All right. Let's see here. So he was a dull and boring president. I wonder if it was because there wasn't really much going on, or he just wasn't interested, or I don't know. I don't know how that one got elected if he was that boring of a person. Oh my goodness. That's not good. That's something I didn't know about him. I don't know too much about, I gotta be honest, I don't really know too many facts about these presidents, but I'm going to learn by reading this book, reading their afterlife images. I'm trying to draw this very nicely. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. He seems to have sorry about this. I think I'm gonna keep you guys up this time. You might be able to see me better, and I don't know what's going on with my table today. It's been one of those days. I was out weeding. We weren't gone that long, I thought, but long enough that it must have rained pretty much here in Pennsylvania, because man, did we have the weeds in our garden. And that's what I was doing all morning. Do you ever wonder why these guys had these weird hairdos? I mean, like, there was nothing in the middle, and then there's big bushy hair coming out along the sides. Or they had, like, their silver hair, but it was so, I don't know, wild, their hairdos, I guess you could call them. Okay. Now I'm going to try to get curls going in here. I'm sorry if this making it wobbly, me doing this on here. I'm going to have to redo my, I took my tripod and everything with me when we went to go visit my son, and I guess I thought I was going to get some videoing done, and I really didn't. And so my tripod and camera setup is a little wonky right now, and you don't ever know that unless you're using it. I don't know how I did it last time, but I mean yesterday, but I didn't think it was that wobbly like it is today. So this is his shirt. Okay. I hope you can. Oh my gosh, this is driving me absolutely insane with this wobbling. It's like there's something under my wheel or something. I gotta check it out. I just wanted to get on here while my husband is doing the weed eater, and I know he's not going to be walking in on the recording, so I wanted to be able to get this done. Yeah, yesterday was a really long story. Interesting, but long. And personally, I don't know. I sometimes, unless it's a very interesting topic, I don't like very long videos to watch. I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, I'm pretty sure other people are like that too. They'll look and see how long it is before they actually want to click on it and go for it, and listen to what's going on. Trying to do his shirt here. Yeah, I'm gonna do some hatching here. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry about this. I'm trying to hold the table still while I'm doing it. Okay, now that I got his clothing out of the way, let's focus on the face. Okay, this is his ear. All right, now he had a very high forehead, so I am going to, here's his eyebrow. And he has a wonky nose too. Here we go. Very funny looking nose. I think it'll be all right. And then his other eyebrow. Looks kind of bushy. Like his hair is bushy. Bushy. Yeah, I'm not right. I was out in the garden too long. It is muggy outside here, and it's supposed to start raining. So we really had to get that garden weeded and cleaned up before the rain hit. Bear with me on these. I'm not really a people drawer, so I'll do my best. Eyeballs. Usually when you're drawing like animals and humans, the eyeballs are what help make the picture, make it look somewhat real, and give it character. So I will try my best here. Okay, we got that done. Got his funky looking nose done, and he's got a little going on here. Let's see. And now we'll do his mouth. Mouths aren't my favorite either. But we'll see what we can do here. Okay. And there's our second president, John Adams. Not to be mistaken for John Quincy Adams, but there he is. That's the best I can do. I hope that I did him a little bit of justice, and he looks okay. That's our president, John Adams. Okay. So I didn't do too bad, I guess. Doesn't look too bad. It looks kind of... Okay, I'm going to show you a picture of what I was supposed to be drawing. See? I was trying to get off of this one, and I got this one. It's not really dark, but that's what he looks like in there. And that one's a little tough because if you look at it, it's got little dots and everything. So I did my best. Alrighty. Looks like we're going to be on to the third president coming up. And hopefully you'll be there with me. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked it. And comment. Let me know what you think about this series, and if you think it's interesting or not. And you know what? I'm going to try to go through the presidents as they have them on here. But if they're really, really long, I might trust my husband to read while I sketch to cut down on the time frame. Other than that, if it's really, really long, a lot of pages, I might just skip to another president. And I'll let you know what I did. Okay, and so, like I said, thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching to the end. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye for now.